Yo, there's a couple things to talk about. Uh, First, we'll start off with these new class changes, and then we can talk about some of the Dinar changes they've made. So, also, got a new camera, so I should look a little better. I was gonna make the same ugly joke about myself that I made in the other video, but I don't think it'll fit. So, let's just go into these class changes. Uh, so I don't know the exact full change of this. Let's see. Let me check the Discord for Unholy and see what they say. 1.6% buff in single target, 3% nerf in Mythic Plus for these changes here for Sand Lane. So, honestly, that's probably a decent... That's probably totally fine. Getting buffed in single target's always really, really good. So, I didn't realize how impactful these were, but a bit of a slight nerf for Mythic Plus, just in overalls and AoE. That's fine. Havoc has been kind of weird. Like, it's decent in Raid, but, like, you bring it for the buff, but, like, Vengeance has mainly been brought for the buff. No, Reaver's Mark can no longer be parried. Same thing. Also, Colossus Smash can't be parried anymore. Dude, I advocated for whitelisting a lot of those abilities, like Colossus Smash, or very important conditional cooldowns for specs, and they're actually starting to do it. Like, they're actually whitelisting them from being parried. It's so good. All ability by 4%. Alright, that's good. Guardian 5%. I actually don't know anything about Guardian Druid, so... Feral, buffed by Feral. Okay, Feral buff. But Og buffed by 15%. But this is the damage of augmentation's damage has been buffed by 15%, not the buff they give to other people. Honestly, if people like the style of augmentation, like the play style of augmentation, but it isn't centered around just buffing people, instead it actually does its own thing and buffs a little bit on the side, I think I'm kind of okay with that. I just don't want Aug to ever be meta in Mythic Plus again. But this doesn't change the value of what the spec can do, mainly how tanky it makes your class, the other classes. So I think the actual use of Aug is going to be, excuse me, it might be very season dependent and very one-shotty dependent. If they actually do a good job on balancing and tuning, and you can actually play higher DPS classes without worrying about being one-shot as much, I don't think Aug will be coming back into the meta anytime soon, but they're buffing it. I know the Aug player in Guild is very, very happy. But let's see, Frost. Buff Frost a little bit. People are playing Arcane and Fire, so Frost's getting a little love. How is Ret Paladin getting more buffs? Like, this spec is already very, very, very good. Like, really good. Like, Red is such a good spec. It's omega tanky. It does a lot of damage. It can do damage from range. And they're just... I don't know how much of a percent of these damage... Like, you know, we can check. Like, if we check Mythic Plus, for example, like, let's go something like Cinderbrew, and we'll check Paladin. Check Ret Paladin. Like, what's one of these Chinese... no logs, no logs. Like, what about this guy, right? Where's his auto-trans... Isn't there an auto-translate? Yeah, translate button. So, Blade of Justice, 80% more damage on this, so it'll do... So that's quite a bit. Goes from 4% to, like... I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 8%, depending on RNG. Final Verdict... Do they use... Oh, that's... Dude, they're buffing your single target button again? They just buffed it. This is getting slight... So they're buffing their AoE and not buffing their single target. What's Divine Arbiter? Divine Storm. Let's look at his buffs. Let's look at his buffs. Arbit. Divine... Actually, no. For that, we probably want to go to Wowhead. We'll go to the talent calculator for Ret Paladin Templar. Arbit Divine Arbiter, which is this. A 25 stacks your next damaging single target ability causes Holy Strike to your primary target and Holy Strike to enemies within 6 yards, and that's being buffed by... So they're just buffing their single target and their AoE again on a class that's already, like, pretty good? Seems a bit. I'm honestly really surprised. Red Paladin's performing quite well. I'm very surprised those things getting buffs. Maybe because there's a lot of people that play it and they play it bad and then it drags down the like average or something because it's like the most played spec in the game. Maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know why this thing's getting buffs. I'm gonna be honest. Holy Priest getting buffs. The healer that's quitting my guild, Mr. Odie, he'll be very happy or just simply not care. Here's something that is interesting, though. Fury and Arms are getting a buff to Reap the Storm and Blade Storm. That's actually a step forward. Reap itself didn't actually necessarily get a nerf, but Blade Storm was nerfed significantly over and over because of Blade Master's Torment, to the point where it's actually not that great in AoE. It's more of a filler for sending out Mortal Strikes. That's like a lot of the value of it. But if they're actually buffing the damage, especially for Arms, which has like a 3 to 4 second cast of Blade Storm, it's a long time without hitting buttons. So, hey man, I'll take some free damage. Why not? They did the same thing for Fury. This probably won't really change anything. I think Styx will still be Thane. I think M+ will still be Thane. This will definitely be nicer in Raid, though, having a bit more burst AoE for things like... I don't really know about... I don't know about One-Armed Bandit. That fight's a little weird. But, like, Rick Reverb, Gallywix, I think these are nice little buffs. Especially the Reap and the Blade Storm damage are nice. Just some nice little AoE buffs. Blade Storm is definitely weaker than it should be. So... Good changes here. Happy to see some... I would have kind of wished Arms' Blade Storm was, like, shorter, but maybe that's, like, a PvP problem. I don't know. But... honestly, getting a buff, happy with it. Not really sure how Ret is getting this. Buff to single target, nerf to AoE, so... that's a trade I'd take. But... Now there's the topic that about... I don't really think it's all the way there, right? Like, the fact that they're adding Dinars to M+, good. The fact that it's gated to 12 keys, weird. I think one of the reasons why it's gated to 12 keys is you have to have all of your 12s timed, but... what they probably just did is they went, okay, what flag in Mythic Plus can we just tag this shit onto for people? It's like, all right, we'll just make it 12. So when you get your Resilient Keys done, that quest probably also flags you to be able to buy the Myth Track trinkets from the vendor for Mythic Plus. So it's like, all right, whatever. Not that big of a deal. Something for people to push over past 10s for. I think it is very, very good that they did add... some stuff from... I don't know if it's just trinkets. Hopefully it's gear as well. But them adding stuff to the vendor for Mythic Plus players as well, I think was very, very good. Because even though Myth Track isn't required, it's still something people want, right? So being able to just play what you want and still get the gear that you want. They still have the requirement to kill raid bosses for, like... Mythic House of Cards, Best in Slots, Jaster Diamond, that kind of thing. One thing I do hope is... I'm assuming the gear that you buy is just, like, locked. So, like, you could only upgrade it to a certain track. What I really hope doesn't happen is that if you, let's say you haven't killed Mythic Bandit, right? And you buy a House of Cards with your Dinar, because that's all you want. You want a House of Cards. if you kill Mythic Bandit, that house of cards should be able to go to that max eye level. But the thing is, I don't know exactly how the Dinars are going to work. I don't know if they're going to be retroactively like updated to be able to be upgraded to those levels. I'm not sure how they've done that system. But what I am assuming, and what I think might happen, is if they mess this up somehow, I think that people should be prepared to potentially try and buy and upgrade these items the moment they get them. Because if there's a bug where you can actually upgrade these things to max level, it might be crazy valuable early on. But I guess that's another thing, right? Talking about like bug abusing, cheating, exploiting, whatever. Obviously, some of the bugs that were seen as exploity, like the renowned stuff, wasn't really Blizzard's fault, right? Well, it was Blizzard's fault, but they're not like banning anybody for it. But it's, I don't know, it felt like in a major sale we were getting to the point where it's like, hey, you guys exploit, we're gonna fucking hit you with the hammer, right? And now it's just back to get what you can before it's gone. It's like, I don't know. This still feels very, very weird. I don't like it. We'll see what they actually decide to do, what stances they decide to take, but yeah, that's kind of it for me. Talked about, glad we got some warrior buffs. Talk about the Dinars. Not really sure. Got a new camera. Cool. Right now, I've been gearing and leveling a boomkin because, I don't know. Every time I look, mainly because what I've been doing is I'll go into dungeons, I'll type 18, right? And then I'll look here. And there's like a 19 that I won't be invited to, or a 17 that I won't be invited to on my warrior. Dude, look at this. Probably waiting for a 4-stack to apply. Who's gonna 4-stack into a 17 rookery? If you're gonna have a 4-stack for a 17 rookery, you should have probably a full group. Like, who's gonna 4-stack into that? P.S. If you've ever declined me from your Resil 16s, don't even apply. It's so, oh my god, LFG is so toxic. But like, you look at this and it's like, oh, I'm just not getting into any of these things on my 3.4k warrior that's going to be valuable to me, and I'll just level and play, because I want to play the game. I'll just level and do something else. I'll play Twitter Complainer, the funky chicken, and this class is really easy. You just, like, there's some complexity to it. Like, I have a couple mouse overs to get things right, but, like, bro, you just dot stuff that hit the Starfall button. And this class is gonna mog my warrior in overall in, like, a couple days once I get more gear. So, yeah. I only have 2-piece. This is what I've been doing. But yeah, that's from me. And I'll see you when I see you. I don't really know how to end these videos, so I'm just gonna end them like this.